In the part 1 episode of GST Departmental Audit, our founder and the expert of GST, Mr. Ashok Nawal, shared right from the provision of the GST Departmental Audit to how to really prepare for one. He also shared how the audit is going to be conducted and what all cross checks can be kept so as to face the audit smoothly without any washing off this season. If you haven't watched it, tap on the link above. Now, let's begin with the part 2 of the GST Departmental Audit. Welcome back to GST Departmental Audit Part 2 episode. I am here with the founder of Bitsol India and a GST expert, Mr. Ashok Nawal. And for him, here is the next question. Sir, what will they do on the field?
As I said, they have already understood your business because of the questionnaire. On the field, they will come and understand your software and software flow. They will be already coming with your weak areas with respect to registrations points, masters, which they have done, and cross-check with actually what you have declared in ADT 01, whether that is correct or not. So they will check all your masters, they will check your registrations, they will check all your contracts, and based on that, they will do the audit. Next point is, if you are the SSI holders earlier, then your turnover 20 lakhs might have been crossed. Whether you have taken the transitional credit, and then if your next year comes in, whether you have reversed the transitional credit. What was the threshold limit when you have done the composition scheme? Whether you have determined the correct outward tax liabilities, inward supply, reversal of ITC, all the major spectrum they will first check with you and then start detail auditing. So based on, they will be given based on the earlier data which you have submitted, based on their analytics, based on the risk analysis, they will be given the scope of work, and based on the scope of work, they will start the audit on the field. Next.
So, what are the cross checks?
Now, if you see it, I will now explain this in more detail. This question, I think I'll have to elaborate you more detail. As far as registration is concerned, as I said, they will check all the business places incorporated in the GST, registration certificate, whether they have been incorporated, whether the new registration was obtained, whether the changes of core field has come, non-core field they have done, job workers, whether they have registered, if they are not registered job workers, and what was the threshold limit of yours. And based on this, impact of this, they will find out whether there is a wrong availment of tax or short payment of duty. Let's say if your registration is cancelled, or whether your supplier's registration is cancelled, your vendor master is checked, they will check whether your supplier's registration is cancelled. In that cancellation period, whether you have received the goods, if you have received the goods, whether you have taken the ITC, then that will not be allowed. Then as far as supply is concerned, they'll check whether it comes under the definition, meaning and scope of supply. And supply doesn't come only in the turnover. It may come credit side to the purchase, credit side of expenditure ledger also. So each transaction they will check in the meaning and scope of supply and check whether you have paid the taxes thereon or not. How you have received the consideration. If consideration has been received in kinds, how the valuation has been done. Whether there was a dealing of a barter, so how you have dealt with the barter deal. Whether there is an import of services or export of services, how you have paid the charges on that. Export of services, how you have determined whether you have received the foreign exchange or not. If you have not received the foreign exchange, it is not the export of services. Or it will not be treated as an export of goods, and you will have to pay back whatever the refund you have received. They will review all the trial balance. And especially on all the trial balance credit side, they will check whether that credit side atom which is getting reflected, whether it will form under the meaning and scope of supply to Section 7 of CGST Act. As far as goods, now number of times what happens is, it is a combo supply. What it says combo supply, it is a naturally bundle. Like especially in the EPC contract, they'll check what is the principal supply. If it is the nature of mixed supply, whether you have paid the correct taxes or not. In case of schedule, which is schedule 2, which we talk, it is a supply of goods which are treated as a service, maybe transfer of title or right of goods, transfer of undivided shares in goods, treatment or processing of goods, constructions, all those they will check and check that you have correctly paid the tax, correctly classified in the correct service SSC code and paid the tax or not. As far as immovable properties are concerned, whether on the immovable properties you have taken the ITC, whether for immovable properties if you are in the construction contract or residential complex or commercial complex, how you are dealt in, whether ITC residential now is only 5%, whether you have pay avail the tax, if tax is ITC is availed, that is not allowed. So all immovable property, it is essential to check whether the correct tax has been paid and no undue credit has been taken. Intellectual property, if supply of intellectual property is there, how the valuation is done, whether that intellectual property is a permanent or a temporary, it will determine nature of service or nature of goods. If it is an item of agriculture, whether those are covered under the GST, if not covered, whether you have reversed the common ITC or not. Supply of articles where cess is attracted, number of goods which you are supplying, where cess is attracted, whether you are paying cess correctly or not, that will be checked. Now, there are non-monetary items where you misuse the supply, like especially transactions with employees. Employee providing the services to the employer is exempted. But employer providing the services to employee is out of the purview of such exemption. It is covered under the meaning and scope of supply. Now only one exception, if you might have given the gift up to 50,000, that will not be covered. Now the issue comes is, what is covered under gift and what is covered under something. Now let us say you have given the Mediclaim policy. It will be covered as a gift. But let us say you are giving the free lunch. Lunch cannot be considered as a gift. So on that free lunch, employee and employer are considered to be related parties. Whether on free lunch you have paid the tax or not. It is covered under the meaning and scope of supplies. So all such aspects to the transactions between employer and employee will come with the microscopic analysis to check. You are recovering something from the employee. Now for example, notice pay. Notice pay recovery, number of high courts earlier in service tax regime also said you have to pay the tax. But now in the GST, one high court, the Chennai High Court says you need not pay the tax because it's a part of employee contract. So these are the certain things which they are going to check. Sometimes you recover the mobile bills. Sometimes you recover the electricity bills. Sometimes you recover the laptop. Sometimes you recover so many things from the employee's salary is recovered. All those aspects will be checked with the perspective of applicability of GST and they will be checking on. Supplies where no consideration has been received. Now if it is with related party, even though you don't receive the consideration, it is taxable. But if it is not a related party, then it is out of the scope of supply. So no tax is payable. So they will check whether you have taken the exclusive credit for that, whether you have reversed the ITC credit or not, those aspects will be checked. No supply, exempt supply. Similarly, 2 points, no input tax credit is allowed on the no GST supply as well as no exempt supply. And common ITC you will have to reverse either on inputs or capital goods under Rule 42 and 43. whether you are reverse or not, that also will be checked. Digital currency transaction, they will check whether GST has been charged on supply of goods, correctly determine the valuation thereof. Each business transaction, if you are supplying the goods and services, they will check whether you have filed the correct HSN code. Earlier it was 4 digit, now it is 6 digit. Whether you have correctly availed the exemption. Now the beauty part of this, HSN is based on the custom, that is the HSN's harmonized nomenclature. Whereas exemption is not based on HSN, they are the atom specific. And therefore, it will be required to check whether you have correctly checked. There were number of changes in the rate notifications. Whether you are correctly incorporated thereon. All those classification of goods and services, not only for outward supply, but also for inward supply will be checked. And wrong duties, short payment of duties will be recovered. ITC, if you are avail excess, that also will be recovered. Exemptions of goods and services will be checked with the microscopic analysis. Because department fails, yours is yours and yours is mine and mine is also mine. So similarly, they will say whether exemption is entitled or not entitled. The most important part is the reverse charge. In reverse charge is aspect of not only the time of supply they will check, but in reverse charge whether you identified correctly on all that items of services or one item of goods, that is agree, whether you have paid the tax or not under the reverse charge mechanism, and whether you have availed the credit thereon, only eligible credit. Now based on time of supply, your interest demand will come. Major point here in the reverse charge, it will come about import of services. In import of services, they will determine on each transaction what was the place of supply. Whether place of supply was in India, as a recipient is in India, then reverse charge was payable. Now some of the things like ocean freight is one of the dispute which is already there. But department is going to continue to make a dispute thereon, because department has filed against the Rajasthan High Court, Gujarat High Court to the Supreme Court. So they will raise this issue. Similarly, on input tax credit availed. Rather, this is the major question which will come in their mind, which is easy. They will say, in GSTR 2A, this much is credit is reflected. Whereas you have taken the X credit, GSTR Y says, GSTR 2A says X minus something. Now, if you have taken the excess credit, Y. Now in 17-18, such type of matching principle was not there. In 18-19, 19 only notification was there from 18 October. 19 October, 120, but notification was not having a backing. But this issue is going to come in everybody's audit, GSTR 2A not matching with this. So it is always better to do the reconciliation and follow up with the supplier. GSTR 2A RICO is the mandate. Now 16(2) has been already amended, date will be notified, but the government already intended earlier that you can take only match credit, and mismatch credit will be considered as a provisional for 6 months. But unfortunately, because of the GSTN network, it could not be introduced. But department already started issuing you notices under ASMT 10 and asking you the explanation, otherwise they are issuing the notices under section 73 and section 74. These all those aspects you need to go through, and GSTR 2A RICO is must, because you cannot avail the credit after subsequent September, and therefore matching is there. Input tax credit will be checked with respect to 3 aspects. A, whether you are avail the correct credit on eligible inputs. whether you have paid that supplier within 180 days, whether that inputs was rightly accounted in, whether that inputs is eligible, whether you have taken the credit on exclusive item also and non-GST exclusive exempted item also and non-GST supply also, whether you have sent the goods on job work, whether it has been returned within 1 year, whether to your supplier you have paid within 180 days or not. All those aspects with the respect of ITC, they will be checking it, and common ITC on the common, that is a taxable turnover and exempt turnover or no GST supplier turnover, whether you have reversed the ITC or not. All that aspect is going to be checked. Input tax utilization. I don't know, but they are going to check why your input tax utilization is lower than that of all other ratios which we talk about. Whether what is the aspect that your input tax utilization is lower or higher? Whether some of your credit was blocked under Rule 86A. Block credit, that is we call ineligible credit, we have rightly dealt in. Whether outdoor catering you have taken the credit, whether the personal treatment like a beauty treatment, cosmetic surgery, whether you have taken the credit, whether the insurance and mediclaim which you have taken for your employees or yourself, have you taken the credit? If yes, not allowed. Whether you have taken the credit on membership and club, not allowed. Whether you have taken the credit with respect to immovable property is not allowed. Whether when your composition tailor was there and he has wrongly charged the tax, whether you have taken the credit or not. Whether you have reversed the credit on goods lost, goods stolen, goods destroyed, goods disposed of, goods written off, whether you have given the gift or free supply. Those aspects with the quantitative reconciliation it will be checked, and reversal of ITC will be checked thereafter. If you are the input service distributor, if you have multi-branches, multi-factory, there is possibility that either you can take the ISD or you might have been not taken and you might have been the service provider. Your cost audit working sheets or accounting sheets might be talking about internal MIS, might be talking about you might have debited your other branches, you might have debited your parent companies. All that, whether you have done the cross charge or not. Cross charge will come only and only when it is reflecting in the books of accounts, either the cost records or the books of accounts. If not, then it will not. But if it is ISD, you have taken the registration. Whether the ISD registration, you avail the credit, and monthly you are distributing the credit. It is monthly is a mandatory, not only whenever you are required. Valuation aspect will be checked. The most determination factor is your transactions with respect to bill to ship to basis. In bill to ship to basis, there are possibility of number of errors which they have seen from their years of experience of 2-3 years. Place of supply is wrongly determined, and therefore wrong CGST instead of CGST, SGST, IGST charge or vice versa. You are required to pay the correct taxes, and wrong taxes paid you are entitled to get the avail the refund. But you cannot adjust suo motu. So all those aspects are going to be checked. Place of supply in case of export of services. Export of goods is very easy if it has gone outside the country, that is the water territory of India, there is no problem, you are exported. But now, after the recent amendment, you have to, if you have claimed the refund, if you have not received the remittances, then you will have to pay back that refund. As far as place of services, supply is concerned, of export of services concerned, you know the issue of intermediary. If you are the commission agent for export outside person, still you are providing the services in India, you will have to pay the tax. So place of supply in the case of export of goods, services, you will have to determine. Place of supply in terms of inputs, you will have to, import of services, you need to determine correctly. ACZ. ACZ department itself awakened late. Supply to the ACZ under Section 7 of IGST Act is talk about interstate supply. But let's say you are in the same state and ACZ is also in the same state. Number of persons have supplied the goods charging CGST and SGST. Rather, number of suppliers have not charged them treating them as a zero rated supply, not charge the tax, but no LUT was furnished. LUT is mandatory for them. High sea sale. Now it is a retrospective amendment. High sea sale, merchant trade. If goods are not receiving in India and exporting in India, that is within the custom territory of India, it is out of GST supply. All those aspects they will check. Now coming on the returns, what are your methods of filing the GSTR1? Whether you are declared correctly, whether you have correctly modified it. Sometimes there will be a difference in GSTR1 and 3B. How you have dealt it into that, whether you are paid subsequent to year end, whether your GSTR 9C reflects those such transactions. So reconciliation between GSTR 1 3B, GSTR 2A 3B, GSTR 9 and 9C, all that will be checked with your books of accounts, maintained as per the cost audit record rules, or books of accounts maintained in the financial books of accounts as a financial statement, or tax audit what you have declared it. Stock records will be checked. Now TDS and TCS 26AS is the cross check, that they will be deducting the tax on the purchases which you have made or services you have provided, and whether that is declared in your return, all that will be checked. Deem export, whether you have rightly claimed the deem export, whether such type of Form A, Form B certification was there or not, that will be checked. ACZ, whenever you are supplying it, zero rated, without payment of tax, or under the claim of refund, you need to understand it should be used only for the authorized operation. So whether authorized operation was demanded and whether it has been used for authorized operation, that will be the cross check. As far as interest is concerned, now delayed payment, if you are charging the interest, generally a mind is there that on interest no income, no GST is chargeable. But interest for delayed payment is considered as a valuation under Section 15 of the original goods, and original tax rate applicable to goods and services will be payable. So refund, less said is better. Number of changes has been made in the refund. In 89, when you are claiming the refund under 89(4), that is input tax refund, 150% of the export value will be compared with 150% of domestic, and that only you can take it. If you are taking on the inverted duty refund, you need to check whether you have taken the services or not, because services it is not allowed. Of course, in section it is allowed, but in rules it is not allowed. If you take the refund under Rule 9610, you will have to check whether you have purchased something from the advance authorization holder, whether you have received the goods under the advance authorization. If you are EOU, if you are advance license holder, you are not entitled. Earlier, there was a lot of changes into that. If it is in that particular period where the changes has happened, that you will have to check. If you have received, granted the wrong refund, already the demand notices have started issuing. If not, during audit it will be detected and they will pay. So they will check verification of your outward supply with your sales register, with your UA bill, with your purchase or sales orders, with your quantitative reconciliation, and based on that, correct rate of tax or evasion of duties will be detected. Similarly, of inward supplies, they will check with the UA bills. They will check whether it was for authorized, whether it was your eligible service, it was used in the course of business or furtherance of the business. All those aspects can be checked. A refund of unutilized credit, whether it is for supply to the SEZ or supply to the exports, that will be checked with applicable rule at that time because rules had changed thrice.
So, how to get prepared to face the departmental audit?
This time departmental audit is going to be different than that of old regime of EA 2000 audit or prior to that. Earlier what used to happen? Earlier, prior to EA 2000 audit, they used to come check physically your records and go back with their report, mentioning the remark in RG1 register. Then EA 2000 has come. They were supposed to write the questionnaire, which they were writing, getting it filled from us, doing the same thing of a verification and going back. Now the difference is that time data availability was not there with them. Now GSTN is going to provide them all the questions along with the queries, along with the data. Apart from that, they are going to ask you information pre-desk review. That desk review will talk about the risk analysis of yours, and that all those things will be monitored by the DG audit, commissioner audit, and in that audit committee. Audit committee will come and give you specific scope of work of this audit. They have the specified certain formats which I have deliberated upon. Those formats, including those reconciliation with various books of accounts, various audit reports, and those reconciliations they will ask pre and annual, and that you will have to prepare much in advance. Not only prepare that in much in advance, you will have to study yourself. You need to be wear the shoes of a departmental officer much in advance before they come. Reason is, if you yourself reverse the tax, if you yourself pay the tax along with the interest, no penalty is attracted. No sooner departmental officer comes and detects it, minimum penalty, even though you pay the tax immediately, minimum 15% tax penalty is mandatory. So you need to do all those ratio analysis. You need to do the GSTR 2A and 3B reconciliation. You need to cross-check with the 9 and 9C whether it has been reported in after those reconciliation of GSTR 1 and 3B, and do your internal audit on all that aspect which I said earlier. It's not that easy. You will have to devote time because now statutorily you are supposed to help him. Now when statutorily you shall render the assistant to the officer, that is the wording of the act. It means all those formats what he is supposed to fill in, they will ask you to fill in. So be prepared for that, get ready for that, and let them go as early as possible. When you are ready with all those documents, if pre-audit is done, you have paid that, and when he comes, you show him all, he will be the most happiest person. Your accreditation will be higher, so that frequency will be lower. My appeal to all the taxpayers is, gone is the time that evaders were never getting detected. Now evaders will be getting detected, and government said, I trusted you, you have to be trustworthy. So become trustworthy by doing internal checks, internal controls much in advance. Of course, experts' help is there, we are there. Take the help of that. Save your penalty and recurring interest period of that. With this, I wish already all the number of taxpayers have received the notices. Number of taxpayers are now going to, and all the period of audit is going to be from July 17 till the date you receive the notice. Kindly note, it should be a ritual practice like income tax. For income tax assessment, we are ready. Like that, for departmental audit, we should be ready at the year end. No sooner your GSTR 9C is ready, or at the time of GSTR 9C itself, prepare yourself for the departmental audit, keep all those data ready, and forget it. Whenever it comes, you produce it. You will be worryless person. you will be saving interest and penalty on unintended errors and omission.
Sir, how can BitSol be of help in the season of GST departmental audit?
Of course, you know we are the team of professionals, more than 50 chartered accountant, cost accountant, company secretaries, and all of them are well versed, well trained, and therefore each of us is well aware of the provisions and well aware of how the audit is going to be conducted. Therefore, what department is going to do, what we are going to say, we will prepare all the reconciliations with cost audit, financial audit, tax audit, and all. We will prepare the reconciliation of EA, GSTR 2A and 3B. We will prepare the reconciliation of GSTR 1 and 3B and what we have reported in GSTR 9 and 9C. We will help to prepare all those comparative chart. We will prepare the ratio analysis, we will interpret the ratio analysis and check those records. We will prepare the questionnaire so that when they come, we will give the ready-made answers to them so that less time is better. And then we will do the internal audit of each company, each taxpayer who approaches us, so that at notice when the errors and if there are errors and omission, continued interest and penalty liabilities can stop and they can pay it then and there itself. Even prior to September, if they do it, they can take the credit of the last year. So, BitSol will be ready with the audit database. If they come for 17-18 data is ready, 18-90 will keep the data ready because government has very clearly and transparently said how they are going to do the audit. It is well spelled out in the GST audit manual, and that preparation and that reconciliation is a really tedious job. It requires expertise, knowledge and compilation of database. That our team is well equipped to do it. We will provide all the support whosoever approaches for that. But we can guarantee after our departmental audit, after our audit, which we do it on behalf of this one, we keep all that ready. We can tell and alert this is going to check, and there are no further surprises and shocks. You will be ready for your answers. You will be ready for your strategies.
Thank you very much, sir, for opening this umbrella of GST departmental audit under which we can take a shelter and keep ourselves from washing off as the GST departmental audit season has begun and the notices to assessees have been issued.
For inviting me. I again welcome you for any other sessions which you feel alike where BitSol can help you.
And on that note, it's time for me to end this episode. I am your host, Rohan Arute, saying a very goodbye and take care and stay safe. Thank you.